Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got Portia Williams, our co-host, our guest co-host this morning. And it's time for Front Page News. Good morning, Miss Ra.
Good morning. So the Women's History Month newsmaker today is Jennifer McClellan, who is sworn in as the first Black woman to represent Virginia in the United States Congress. She's replacing Donald McEachin, who succumbed to colorectal cancer, and she won a special election to represent the Virginia 4th Congressional District. She's said to be the first Black woman from Virginia, the birthplace of both American democracy and American slavery and massive resistance, is poetic justice. So shout out to Jennifer.
Dropping the food bombs for Jennifer.
And we also have, this is a sad story. I'm sure you all have been following the kidnapping at a Mexican border city on Friday. 4 Americans were kidnapped. 2 only survived. They were abducted at gunpoint in what appears to be a mistaken identity case. The alleged Mexican cartel mistook the 4 victims as Haitian drug smugglers, according to United States officials. Shaid Woodard and Zindell Brown have been found deceased. Eric Williams, who was shot twice in one leg and 1 time in the other, and Latavia Washington McGee, who is a mother of 6, both survived and are now being treated in a United States hospital. It's being reported that the group crossed the border from Brownsville, Texas for medical procedures. The kidnapping, of course, puts the southern border security issues right back in the crosshairs, especially escalating the tension around the folks who have been battling around what best practices we have for securing the southern border. But I do want to remind you they did cross the border.
I wonder, were they targeting like people? Or were they looking for a specific set of Haitian drug smugglers, or just anybody that they thought was Haitian drug smugglers was going to get it?
I heard they've been warring, though. I heard it's been heavy gunfire over there and going back and forth. So they probably were just wrong place, wrong time. And
Dang.
And why'd they kill 2 and let the other 2 survive? Like, how'd the other 2 get away? Like, this is a strange, sad story.
It is.
And had they had the procedures already or not?
I don't know.
No,
Mm-mm.
they had not had any procedures. That part I know. The other 2 questions that Envy and Leonard raised, I don't know the answer to. But I know that we'll continue to follow the case, and we'll certainly keep their families in our prayers. That is a traumatic incident for those that did not survive and those that did.
Absolutely.
Wow, so sad.
We have one more. There's 17 fire and police personnel who have now been charged in connection with the deadly beating of Tyre Nichols. You all, of course, are aware of that case from Memphis, Tennessee. 4 fire department personnel were charged. 3 of the employees were fired and 1 was suspended. Additionally, 13 police employees, not just officers, were charged as a result of the city's investigation. Charges against 2 of the police employees have been dismissed. 7 were fired, 3 suspended, and 1 retired before the hearing could take place.
Damn.
More information will actually be released today in this case, along with 20 hours of video and audio associated with the January 7th deadly incident. We know Tyre was just 29 years old. May he rest in power, and may the police stop killing us.
So he's just going to retire and keep his benefit.
That's right. He had to get that pension. You're not about to fire me and cause me to lose my pension.
And as long as the laws are on the books that allow police to escape accountability, whether we're talking about the local, the state, or the federal level, they'll continue to do just that, and they'll continue to get away with killing us.
Where does qualified immunity play into all of this, Angela?
Well, that's just the thing, right? In Memphis, we know that qualified immunity has been challenged on the federal level. Still, that bill, that George Floyd Justice and Policing bill, has not been passed. Earlier this year, right around the Tyre Nichols killing, there was conversations at play, and you heard Senator Tim Scott, who sits on the Republican side of the aisle, that any bill related to qualified immunity challenging these same principles would be dead on arrival in the United States Senate, even with the Republicans not having the majority. That, of course, does not apply to what happens on the local and state level. But let me remind you, this is Tennessee.
All right. Well, that is Front Page News. And some quick sports. I just want to tell you, Daniel Jones, Giants quarterback, he signed a $160 million contract.
What a waste
yesterday.
of money.
What a waste
of money.
And they placed
What a waste of money.
Saquon Barkley on a franchise tag. That means he gets a guaranteed $10 million. And they have until July 17th to work out a long-term deal with Saquon.
They gave that mediocre-ass quarterback $163 million, but threw Saquon $10 million.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Saquon's getting up in age a little bit, but damn.
And I think they should have gave Saquon a lot more.
Yes.
But Daniel Jones had a great year, so I
Man,
guess
he
they're basing it
sucks.
off of. He had a great year last year.
Mediocre.
He had a great year last year.
Mediocre.
Way better than Dak.
Mediocre.
All right.
He did not have a better season than Dak. You gonna sit here and just tell a lie like that?
Yes.
You would. You a white man, bro. Portia told you was a white man yesterday.
She didn't say I was a white man.
Here you go saying that a
What did she say I was a
mediocre.
white man?
Here you go saying a mediocre white quarterback had a better
didn't hear it.
had a
He used
better
to hear
season
it.
than
He
Dak
didn't hear
Prescott.
me say it.
Yes, I heard you loud and clear. She did.
All right.
Hell, he did not have a better season than Dak Prescott.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, you can call us up right now and get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. Miss Rye, we'll see you next hour. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got our co-host, Miss Portia Williams, joining us today. And it's time for some front page news. Angela Rye, you back?
I'm back. Good morning.
Good
Well, you
morning.
can feel free to file this one under white supremacy mess. Fox News is in the middle of a pricey defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems. And by pricey, I mean Fox is being sued for $1.6 billion
Yep.
for spreading,
I said, yep.
Oh, sorry. For spreading debunked claims that Dominion voting machines were used to rig the election in favor of Joe Biden. As internal Fox News emails and messages surface, it's clear that the on-air hosts, privately dismissed the very dangerous stop the steal election lies they were telling to gin up millions of viewers. Rupert Murdoch, Fox's chairman, said Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham went too far in alleging voter fraud during their coverage. Dominion states the channel recklessly disregarded the truth during the 2020 presidential re-election because, quote, the lies were good for Fox's business. Text messages from January 4th, 2021 show Tucker Carlson was relentless in his critique of Donald Trump despite his on-air, full-throated support. In one message, he says, quote, I hate him passionately. He goes on to say that that's the last 4 years. We're all pretending we've got a lot to show for it because admitting what a disaster it's been is too tough to digest. But come on, there isn't really an upside to Trump. And on January 6th, Tucker Slim Shady Carlson calls Trump a demonic force. Well, Fox probably should have just settled this one, y'all. What say you?
What's interesting about that is Fox would have got more ratings just telling the truth. If they would have got on the air and just told how they really feel about Trump, they probably could have prevented the insurrection, and everybody would have been like, "Oh my God, Fox News is actually telling the truth about Trump." They'd have killed CNN and MSNBC. I mean, they'd kill them anyway, but they would have killed CNN and MSNBC even more by just simply telling the truth. So it's strange that they would continue to invest in the lies in that moment. They invested in the lies for more ratings when the truth actually would have bought them more ratings.
What's crazy is there actually were news hosts that were allegedly responding to ratings that were declining. And so they started doing this more per what's being reported around this lawsuit. I don't know if that's true. I do agree with you when you look at the ratings every single month, Fox is winning. But it looks like it's because it's an entertainment network based in fiction based on this lawsuit. So we do have one more.
Okay.
Racial profile and much. Drivers of color say they were fired by Lyft and Uber for no legitimate reason. Data from Rideshare Drivers United and the Asian Law Caucus shows 2/3 of Uber and Lyft drivers were deactivated in California and disproportionately impacted drivers of color. 30% of the survey drivers say they weren't given a reason for being deactivated. Uber said a detailed evaluation is done before deactivating drivers and claim they provide multiple warnings before permanently deleting any account. 70% of drivers of color are deactivated compared to 57% of white drivers.
I told you before, I think I told you last week that was a lie because I know a couple of people actually got fired from it and there was no reason. And then they finally found a claim and they said, unless you have a camera in the car, we have to believe the passenger.
Right.
And that happened a lot.
But what about, okay, so do they, you know how we give them ratings and then they also rate us. So
Yeah.
they see it too? They see what we rate them?
I believe they see it, but if you're in a car and you just say a driver was rude to you, or a driver dropped you off at the wrong house, or the driver, tried to flirt with you, they deactivate immediately.
Yeah.
They don't ask, and then they ask if you have a camera in your car, and if you don't have your camera in your car and you can't prove, They put you through this long system and they don't allow you to work while they do that.
So that sounds like some racist public doing that to black drivers specifically. It could be the company, or it could be people who are black, racist people who are riding with black people.
The passengers in the car.
Who are lying, yeah.
What does deactivate mean?
They shut their account down.
They shut their account down.
They can't drive anymore. They can't make no money.
Got you.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing that I think is important too. This is actually all drivers of color. It's not just targeting black folks. It's all drivers of color. And Envy, to the point about the ratings, they can't see our specific ratings. They can see their overall number, and they can't get below a certain amount. I hate to tell y'all this, but I was at risk of getting kicked off of Uber because my rating was low. It can't go below a 4.5. And I was like,
I can totally see that.
you get the rating so low?
I can totally see that.
I'm just picky, but it was down to like a 4.
See that.
Anyway, it was down to like a 4.6, and now it's back up to like a 4.78. So I've been nice. I didn't realize that if you don't tip, they get mad and they would like not to give you a high score. And I was like, you know what? I should tip. I'm mad that Uber gets 20% of what they make, but that's not their fault. So
it's
make
more
sure
than
you
20%.
tip.
They get I think the drivers get 30% of what they actually charge.
I thought that Uber took 20% of the overall.
No, they take more than that. I think
Really?
Uber and Lyft take like 70% of their profits or 60% of their profits. They don't make that much.
We need to fact check that. Really? 70%?
I think it's like
That's
60, 70%.
a lot.
Absolutely.
Call us right now, Uber drivers. All the Uber drivers out there listening.
I know. I
Call
want to
us right
hear.
now.
Yeah, I'm glad to know that they don't. I'm glad to know that they can't see how I rate them, because in my neighborhood, it's always like the same driver. So I don't be wanting him to know I give him.
Jesus.
I don't be wanting him to know I gave him a low rating.
I'm glad that Uber drivers giving Angela Rye 1 star, man.
Yo,
That's
stop.
what I'm talking about.
Don't say that. That's not happening anymore. I've been delivered.
He's up now.
Thank you, Miss Rye.
Love y'all. Bye.
Have a great day. All right, when we come back, Tammy Roman and Remy Ma will be joining us. They have a new movie, Girl in the Closet. So don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.